doing the thing. We are live. Here we are doing the thing. We alive. I don't know what that was, but anyway,
I don't know.
hi.
Whatever.
Not
Hey,
bad.
how you doing?
So, how's it going, boys? Are you doing well?
Yeah, going all right.
Yeah, I'm okay. How about you, Shane? How are you doing? Nobody ever asks how you're doing.
Well, Alan, I'm having a hot flash right now. I just thought you should know.
Okay. All right.
Welcome, everyone. We are the Crafty Boys. We drink beer, talk about it, and other crap. So that's the show in a nutshell. I certainly hope that we have good beer today. What beer, Locke, do you drink? Are you drinking this evening?
So this evening I have something interesting to report on. It is a collaboration, a relatively recent one, sparked, of course, by current events. And it's a collaboration between Lalamund, Sawdust City, Dominion City, Far and Wide.
That's a lot
And
of.
it is described as a 1,000% Canadian-made trans-Canada brewery collaboration called Glorious and Free.
Glorious and free.
That sounds interesting.
Yes. It is a 6.5% alcohol per volume IPA. I am given to believe in the Western IPA tradition. And this particular instance of this collaboration was brewed at Sawdust City Brewing Company. And so we're going to find out what it's all about. And so let's crack this puppy and get moving.
Do it.
Okay, glass. Well, so far it looks like beer.
That's a good sign.
Yep, it's beer, all right. That is a West Coast IPA, as far as I can tell.
Excellent. And who are the like? I remember Sawdust City, which is in your neck of the
We have
woods.
Sawdust City, we have Dominion City, we have Lalamand. I'm not sure if Far and Wide is an actual brewery in this, or if that's just something we made up. Hold on, let me.
So are all these breweries in the east?
Well, no, I'm given to believe that. And now, hold on, let me.
Because I'll be honest, like I don't think any of those breweries are from BC.
Yeah, so Dominion City, like I thought, are in Ottawa.
Okay.
And then let's check out Lalamand. I suspect they could be all in the east. Lalamand sounds Quebec to me, but let's find out.
Still kudos to them, but I don't think it's like a cross Canada kind of brew. But still, 4
Are
breweries.
you basically
collaborating
saying
on
that they're
one?
lying?
Well, no, I'm not saying that.
You guys,
They're lying like the producers of the Never Ending Story lied.
Yeah, well. Learn more about us. Yeah,
Well,
that's what I'm trying to do.
but how do you like it?
Why I went to your website.
How do you like it, Locke?
It's fine. It tastes like real beer. I just thought it was a kind of a cool idea that there's this collaboration.
Yeah, for
with
sure.
people that all sort of are like, man, we're Canadian.
Yeah.
Um,
Well, what's more interesting is that they got all their ingredients from the States. I mean, from Canada. I wonder about that.
This episode brought to you by slow internet and frozen frames.
Did we lose him?
I think I'm not. I think so. I'm not 100% sure.
Um,
Well, I saw a move.
can you still
There.
can you still hear me?
There we go. Now he's moving.
Have I disappeared?
I think your computer went to sleep or something, or your internet did.
Am I? Yeah. All right.
You were saying.
Might have done. I don't know. Well, data connectivity has never been awesome in this room, so maybe that's just how it is. But yeah. So anyway, beer. What are you guys drinking?
Shane, over to you.
What beer am I drinking?
Now you guys are frozen.
Probably because you're frozen. So this is Mysterious Hooch. I don't know what's in here. I don't remember.
Shane made it.
We're about to find out. The aromatic experience. Smells like beer.
Hopefully it's not an old urine sample or something.
Ew.
Ew.
All right. So that's what it looks like. It's very dark.
It is.
Even if it beams out, it's probably one of the stouts. Not bad. It's flat.
What would you say the
unfortunately.
ABV is on one of your homemade stouts?
It sort of averages around 5 to 6%.
Okay, that's about average.
So it's not extreme.
No.
That's when cider gets made. Cider somehow hits like 7, 8, 9%.
Yeah, that's probably because of the sugars.
But this, I can't complain.
And how long ago did you make that?
This one, I'm September, October, somewhere in there.
Okay. All right.
But
So that's cool.
overall, not bad.
I
I
like
like the tang it has right now because it's probably the problem is it's flat. Another bottle I opened a few days ago was very effervescent, but this one seems to have not had that.
Oh, must not have put enough priming sugar into it.
Probably not. But overall, I can't complain. Not one complaint here.
Cool. Tonight I am drinking from Fernie Brewing. They're
Big steep stout.
yeah,
Okay.
Dry, dark, and what does it say?
smooth.
And smooth. All right.
Comes in at
4.5% alcohol by
4.5%.
volume.
4.5%. What does it
Tier
say
more?
here? Obviously brewed by Fernie Brewing, which is in Fernie, BC. Go big, then go home with this dry Irish stout balanced with roast and chocolate malts. It's a smooth way to wrap up a steep day in the back country. I almost thought it read that it was steeped with a roast and chocolate. Just throw the roast beef in there. And this is what it looks like after the pour. It's very dark.
What is the
it tastes like a dry stout.
Okay.
I mean,
Nothing notable?
there isn't really anything notable about this. I think if I was going to get a stout, I'd probably prefer to just get a Guinness.
Yeah.
Yeah, just to have that sort of like that thick, creamy, the head on it, you know.
So what you're saying is it's dry, but it's not a nitro pour?
I'm sorry?
So what you're saying is that it's dry, but it's not a nitro pour?
It's not a nitro pour, no. It would probably be better if it was. I love the nitro pour of the Guinness. It's good. It's good. If you're looking for a stout,
Mhm.
this is good. But if they put in a nitro can, that'd be even better. If you're looking for a dry Irish stout that doesn't have a nitro can, I almost think that from Hoyne, their Finnegan's dry Irish stout is a little bit better than this. But this is still good. I mean, it's not bad. And that's
So
that.
basically, it is decent, but not mind blowing.
No, it's not going to knock your socks off.
Well, then I guess we're just going to have to move on and cry. I guess.
So
I don't
how
know.
was
I
your
have.
beer
Sorry.
How was your beer?
I missed. It is good. I made it.
How
so therefore, it is
beer?
awesome.
You made it. Oh, you made it. Okay, there we go.
Actually, you probably had some of this.
So you obviously like it.
I'm not. It's not
Okay.
bad. I just wish it wasn't flat. This bottle, for some reason,
Okay.
seemed to go flat, but that's all right.
So you're going to have to save some of this stuff for when I come over for the Vancouver Beer Fest.
That's right. Which is what, July 12th, I think, right?
Yes, it is.
I'll even probably have made more by that point because I have much to do. I have much brewing to do
Cool.
late, which I'll probably do tomorrow because it is. I had a bunch of stuff scheduled tomorrow and it all got canceled because people got sick and all kinds of stuff. So,
All right.
brew, why not? But although today I was telling Alan earlier, Locke, I was actually had all these plans of taking the dogs out to Jericho and running them around Spanish Banks, maybe, that kind of thing. And I sat on the couch and they were very cuddly. And I'm like, all right, let's cuddle some and then we'll go to the beach. And next thing I knew, I was waking up like 2 hours later from that sort of, I guess I fell asleep. So I got to say, highly recommend naps, man.
Yeah, recreational sleeping.
Recreational sleeping is not a bad thing.
I don't know. I can't
recommend.
nap. I've never
No?
been able to nap. Even when I was
Really?
a kid, I couldn't nap.
I love me a good nap.
Yeah.
I think that the best part about napping is you have to master it in a way where you fall asleep, but you don't either sleep longer than, say, 20, 30 minutes, or if you're really committed, sleep at least 2 hours. Because I remember years ago doing that thing where you nap, you get up and you're like, my head hurts. Oh, what's going on? I don't feel, I thought it was going to make me feel better. But apparently what actually is happening is that after about half an hour of sleep, 20, 30 minutes of sleep, that's when your body starts to do the whole protein clean of your brain. So it exudes some sort of fluid that comes around and cleans your brain essentially and takes all the bad sort of stuff away. And then takes it down your spinal cord and then disposes of it into your body. But the thing is, this one of the side effects of it is that it makes you groggy, and it gives you headaches because if you wake up during that process, you are kind of headachy. You're kind of not quite coordinated.
I totally know that feeling.
Yeah. So I read in order to avoid that, don't sleep longer than half an hour, but they do recommend like 20 minutes is kind of the best part. Or sleep for at least a couple of hours so that your body has time to finish that process, which takes half an hour or something. So, so you don't completely wake up just feeling like you smashed your head on the headboard or something.
That is valuable intel. I will be applying that.
Yeah, I don't know why I fell down the rabbit hole of that years ago, but ever since then, I'm like, okay, I gotta set an alarm. If I have to be somewhere and I'm gonna have a nap, I'm gonna, make sure I keep it to a limit. And because it only takes like 2 or 3 minutes for people to fall asleep if they're tired, so it doesn't take long.
No.
which is probably why I did the whole thing of not realizing I went to sleep today. I mean, I was comfy. I had dogs on me, blanket on the feet, pillows.
Yeah. No. Like, never have I slept so well as when a dog is lying on top of me.
That is true. I was just gonna say, but Alan, your dog is much bigger.
Yeah, I cannot sleep comfortably if my dog.
But then again, so am I. Like, I'm used to English setters sleeping on top of me.
Yeah,
so.
true. And I think that if they lay down and you can like cuddle them like a pillow or whatnot.
Okay, that's different. But if they're like on top of
but if you're on top of it,
like 70
if they're on top of you, forget it. Especially, I mean, your dog is also quite energetic.
Yeah.
So
it moves around a lot.
Now, Shane, I'm a little curious about the waking up process. Was there a punch in the face from a certain young lady?
This afternoon, yes, there was, because she was due for her afternoon constitutional outside. Yeah, she wanted to go out. It was today was gorgeous out here. The weather was amazing. That's why I kind of thought today it's finally the weather is going to the beach at low tide and that kind of thing. But she very much was very cuddly and sucked me in. And then when I was waking up, it was walking time. So yeah.
Perfect.
Which is kind of a good thing, because I don't know about your dogs and your experience with dogs in general. Is my dogs generally will let me know that they have to go out. They don't just suddenly decide, okay, it's time. No, it's a very fixed clock thing, and if I am not paying attention, I get barked at. So I like that. It's like, oh, okay, we have to go out now. So out we go. I mean, I'm not 100%. Sometimes I might ignore them just a little bit too long. But for the most part, I get barked at. I take them out. Things are well. And, but yeah, she's very good at the whole, here's your face, here's my paw. Pay attention to me, or pet me, or take me out.
Yeah, my dog's pretty good about waking me up if she needs to go out like in the middle of the night or something. Hopefully that doesn't happen too often, but
the actually, I just remembered something I wanted to show you guys today.
Oh, okay.
I was going to share it here. I just did this because a video came out on YouTube this morning that I happened to check out, and I thought I'm going to totally do that. So right now, for free, you can get a selfie taken from space. So essentially, to give you this whole thing, is so this guy named Mark Rober, he's got a channel on YouTube. He's been around for a while. He worked at NASA, all kinds of stuff. He was one of the guys that worked on one of the rovers for NASA. So anyway, so he's turned his career into a YouTube channel, into a teach kids science sort of thing. And but the thing that they announced today is they've launched a satellite in space. So there's a satellite that launched in January, and it's orbiting the Earth, and it's positioned so that it's looking down, and it has a screen on it that you can submit photos to have another camera take a picture of that photo with the Earth in the background. So essentially, so you can see this fancy thing. So there's this screen up in space, and it takes a photo of your selfie. And so basically, and then after a few months, when they because they have to queue these up and all that kind of stuff, you can have your photo submitted to you. So I highly recommend checking it out. It's free. It's a thing you can do. And here is the selfie that I submitted, that I hope to receive sometime in the summer. And I asked them if they could, because you can request a location, just the Earth in general, a particular location on Earth. So I said, "Hey, take this selfie, and please take it on top of or over top of BC, essentially."
Mm.
So highly recommend. I think it's going to be a hoot. But yeah,
That's kind of
And,
cool.
so I didn't. I mean, I knew this project was happening, but it was a video from like a year ago. So where he was really talking about how they were going to do this thing because they, had to finish building the satellite, had to get it all approved and protected,
Of course.
and then launched into space, which happened on the 16th of January or something. They live streamed it. But so I recommend if you want to do something crazy, I thought this would be cool. Because my name as well as Alice's name are on the rovers on Mars as well. There's like some sort of disc or something. They put you could submit your name and you get a little certificate. And whatnot.
Cool.
So that was like 10 years ago at least. So,
So
but
when the
I thought this
aliens
was kind of a
find
cute
it,
little thing.
they'll be like, "All right, so who are the fuckers that put this thing here?" And they'll be like, "Oh, good, there's a list. We need to fucking talk to these people."
So you get a knock at your door. Hello? Hello, I am Bleep Blorp. You landed your rover on our house. He's like got tentacles and he's like, has a bat or something.
We're taking you to space court.
Space court. 4,622 humans were taken to space court.
Shane Burley, the Shane Burley, really, the Shane Burley, you have been served.
Exactly. Oh my god, that'd be awesome. Thank you, Bleep Blorp. But yeah, what else is in the news? What else? What else we got going on?
Right. So here's okay. Let me just confirm something. The three of us, all three of us, we're Gen Xers, right?
Yes.
Correct.
Okay. What would you say is the most Gen X band in all of history?
Gen X band and all.
Well, see, the problem is that the bands we listened to when we were younger, they were all boomers, right? So
I don't know if that's not strictly true.
No, not strictly.
There is a correct. There is a correct answer. This is not subjective.
Oh, okay. All right.
The correct answer is Generation X. Are the most Gen X band in all.
Yeah. Okay.
Generation X are the most.
All right.
Who did I fucking see last night?
Billy Idol.
The lead singer of Generation X.
Nice.
With Joan Jett and the Blackhearts opening.
Really?
Yes. Joan Jett and the Blackhearts opening for Billy Idol. It was fucking awesome.
Where did you see this?
I'm gonna guess Toronto.
Yeah. The amphitheater. Ontario Place Amphitheater. It was currently called the Budweiser Stage, previously called the Molson Stage.
Nice.
But yes, it was an awesome show. I had reasonably good seats. I went with a vet who is also a Generation X person, and it was not what I was kind of expecting, which was just like the hits kind of done as a retro thing. They actually had new material, and the new material stood up to the old material reasonably well. Yeah. Proper fucking Billy Idol lineup. Steve Stevens on guitar. Fucking awesome.
Well, that sounds cool. I'm happy that you got to go see that.
He is not coming to town.
Well, anyway. He is, amongst other things, turning 70 next year.
That's crazy.
Mm.
I just looked up his tour list. He's not coming to the West Coast, at least in Canada.
At least not now.
Mm. Mm.
Maybe in the
He'll be in Seattle, though. Do I really want to go
Hmm.
to Seattle, though?
No, you don't.
No.
Nah, fuck Seattle.
You'll wind up in a prison in El Salvador.
Yeah.
We will ask the question.
Joan Jett had words about that stuff.
Oh, really?
Oh yeah, no,
What'd
she
say?
was quite vocal about how much she likes Canada and how pissed off she is at her own country right now.
And
think a lot
I
of
believe
them are.
that. But do you think a part of that was just kind of pandering to the crowd?
There was no need to pander. Everybody had already paid for their ticket.
Right. I mean, I suppose so. But every time, you see those rock stars, they're at a concert somewhere and they're like, this is the best crowd ever. And they say the same thing.
Well, yeah, everybody says that. Sure. Fair enough.
Right.
Here's something I didn't realize. Did you know that Ticketmaster were started in Thunder Bay?
I didn't.
Oh, I didn't know at all.
I mean, I've got to be honest with you. If there was a single part of last night that I kind of objected to, it was the fuck around with download our app in order to see your tickets. Really? Fuck off. Just fucking give me the tickets.
I've always called them Ticket Bastard for a reason.
You're a bunch of bastards.
Yeah. I mean, started in Thunder Bay, great. But still, Ticketmaster is a ticket bastard, in my opinion.
Yeah. It would be nice if they fucking sorted their shit out a bit, wouldn't it?
Well,
Yeah.
I don't know. I think they do it on purpose. I don't know why. I think they try to make it like a pain in the ass.
Extra frustrating just to be dicks about it. Maybe.
I don't know. They've been doing that way for too long for it not to be on purpose for some insane reason.
Do you either of you have any concerts coming up?
No,
not really.
Not so much.
But you know what? I'm really not up on what's going around. Like what's going to be shown. I have absolutely no idea. There could be something happening next weekend that I have absolutely no idea about. And if it's next weekend, I probably wouldn't be able to get tickets for it. So,
No, that's a good point.
Yeah.
All right, I'm loading up Ticketmaster. I want to know.
Well, don't just look up Ticketmaster because some of these things could be like if it's here in my neck of the woods, I don't think it would be sold by Ticketmaster. It would be a Select Your Tickets.
What's a Select Your Tickets?
That's the basically the same thing as Ticketmaster, but for the Save on Foods Memorial Center.
Let's see. Bryan Adams.
Yeah,
He's
no.
coming to September 14th. Wow. Papa Roach.
Oh, Papa Roach?
Papa Roach is on November 26th.
If I'm being honest, I think I would like. If I'm being honest, I think I would likely see Bryan Adams over Papa Roach.
Yeah,
Sarah
I wouldn't
McLachlan.
see either of them. Papa Roach sounds a little bit more interesting than Bryan Adams to me, but
Warner.
only marginally.
So basically, oh god, there's lots of. What is this? Live streams?
ZZ Top apparently is coming.
Oh fuck, that'd be worth a shot.
First.
I would want to see those guys.
They're coming. They're doing 2 nights. Looks like June 3rd and June 1st.
So
Tickets still available?
so it'd be Billy Gibbon, Frank Beard.
I think some
Playing
relative.
bass.
I think it's let me look it up here. I just was reading this just recently and I've totally forgotten now. Elwood Francis, which is I looked him up. Elwood Francis he started last year, not even a year ago. But he's been playing with them since Dusty died. God, has it been since 2021? Good Lord.
Yeah.
Um,
They were actually scheduled to play in Victoria back then, and then they ended up having to cancel the date because Dusty had
Yeah.
died. So I think this is sort of like, basically the reschedule of that old date.
Oh, that doesn't surprise me. But anyway, yeah, I mean it's decent lineup. I don't really know much about this Elwood Francis guy. He seems like a very tall Billy Gibbons kind of thing. He's got a beard. He's got really crazy hair.
Gotta have a beard if you're in ZZ Top.
Oh my God!
Gotta look the part.
Sorry, I'm just gonna share this image here. Look at this guy's. Is this a base? What the hell is this? Locke, I need your knowledge. What exactly is this? What the hell?
Oh my God! Yes. I have seen one of those motherfucking things before. I think when it was I think they sometimes it just gets called the stick.
So I'm assuming this is a base, but times 5, 6 times 6.
Yeah, that's a lot of fucking strings, isn't it?
So that's him there. That's the Elwood dude. So you kind of get a good idea of what he looks like. He fits in. He's definitely.
That is
it's like 14 or 15 strings. Instrument.
It is insane. 6, 1, 2, 3, 4.
Like, I'm not a bass player. I know nothing about bass. But
that is insane.
Is that even necessary?
There's no reason it should be necessary, but it would be more like playing a harp in some respects than playing a guitar.
Right.
He is known for playing a 17-string bass, which he inherited and has made his own signature instrument. He also plays a 15 bass string called the High Selecta. So there you go.
That's kind of.
He's also played with Joe Perry, Steve Vai, a bunch of other bands like that.
Okay.
Yeah, that makes sense. That says
apparently
that is
exactly
the kind of shit that Steve Vai would have going on for sure.
I mean,
how the hell heavy is that?
But with that many, even with that many strings, it ain't as cool as a double-necked guitar.
Well, you've seen the thing that Vi is playing lately, right? The Hydra.
No.
It is. Shane, maybe having looked that up,
I'm finding it here.
Steve Vai's Hydra.
And I'll say this straight up. I mean, I'm not a musician. I have absolutely no idea what the double neck guitar actually does, what benefit it provides, other than looking cool. Okay.
That is the coolest guitar I've ever seen. So we've got a
pretty
bass,
rad.
a couple. Is this a dual string up here? Looks like a dual string.
That looks like a 12 string.
And what the hell?
And that's like sort of like a harp. Yeah.
Holy shit.
I didn't even see the strings down at the bottom.
That is insane. So here's I'm playing it like that. Oh my god, that's insane.
Mm.
The Hydra.
Crazy.
When did he start playing? It looks like for a couple years ago.
Yes, I think the first I saw of it, I think it was more or less the announcement was, I think maybe something like 2023.
Good god, look at that thing.
It looks like a Decepticon.
It transforms into a robot and tries to take over the world.
Autobots, roll out.
Good god, look at that. That thing is insane.
Mm.
That must be difficult to carry around.
Well, it's funny you should mention that. My understanding is that in order to play it, there's not only a strap involved, but also a brace.
Yeah.
That would not surprise me. Because you imagine like your back playing for 2 hours would just be insane.
You wouldn't be able to
Imagine
play
catching
that.
it on something too.
That'd be sort of like one of those things you put on for like 1 or 2 songs, and then you take it off, and it goes and sits on the side of the
I kind of have a feeling that's how it goes. Yeah.
Yeah, that definitely.
It's more for show, I think.
Yeah. It is in its way a kind of event piece, you know?
Right.
Yeah.
But damn, does it look cool?
And yet, if you watch the video that got released when he first kicked that one out, he actually makes use of all of that instrument.
You would have to if you're gonna do something like that. You kind of have to.
But he does it, and he does it tastefully because he's Steve Vai and can do things tastefully because that's kind of the way that motherfucker rolls.
Steve Vai.
Now I want to go see him play.
There is a strong chance that I missed seeing Dweezil Zappa. I knew he was coming. I haven't checked up on the dates in a while, so I'm thinking that probably slid by and I missed it. But Dweezil Zappa was supposed to be touring, I think.
Let's take a look here. Dweezil Zappa tour. So it looks like he is on tour with a poster you can't read. So he started in January in Monterey, California. Tucson, Charleston, Lauderdale, Wilmington. He has he was April 26th. He was in Toronto.
Fuck yeah, I thought I missed that. I mean, my life was all over the top crazy in April, so
yeah,
I'm not
can't
surprised.
see them all.
Yeah,
that's very true.
He's younger than some of the other guys, so there's still a chance.
But you know, I mean, there's this thing where it's like it's better to see the act in their prime than it is, you know, when they're aging. Like what is it Iron Maiden that's going on tour soon? Like I want to go see Iron Maiden, but I'd rather have seen Iron Maiden in like 1986 or 87 or something like that, right?
Sure, yeah. And there's definitely something to that. Now that said, you know, like there's never a bad time to see Iron Maiden.
It's true. You're
Even right. During the Blaze Bayley years, and some people will disagree with me about that, but
I mean, this was a long time ago. This many years ago, early 90s. This guy I knew went to go see Bob Dylan.
Okay.
He was playing, I can't remember if it was in Vancouver or if he actually came to Victoria. But anyway, he saw him, and then I asked him the next day how it was, and he was like, you know, it's not the same as, you know, he was like in the early 70s or whatever. And, his voice isn't as good as it used to be. And I totally get that.
Sorry, his voice isn't as good as it used to be. What? It used to be fucking rubbish. You mean it's actually?
No, I know. Well, what I'm saying is it was even more rubbish than it was before.
Yeah. Here's a fascinating question that I once heard asked. Who do you think is more famous, Willie Nelson, or Bob Dylan?
I think probably right now, Willie Nelson.
Here's the thing: there isn't really a proper answer in the sense that one of them is actually more famous than the other. They're about the same level of famous.
Yeah.
Both of them smoke dope. But if you ask that question, one of the interesting things about it is you will find out to some degree whether somebody skews more rural or more urban in their outlook, because urban folk tend to think that Bob Dylan is the most famous, whereas rural folk would assume that it's Willie Nelson.
I guess, yeah.
Mm.
Yeah. Well, like Roger Waters. Roger Waters' voice, I mean, he's never had a good voice, in my opinion. But his voice, going up until, say, the mid-'80s, was better than it was after, from the mid-'80s on. It sounds a little bit more strained now. I would have liked to have seen him. I've never seen him live. But if I ever did, I would have liked to have seen him, like, say, mid to late 70s.
I think that's probably fair. Pink Floyd are a tricky band because they have multiple eras.
Yeah.
And those different eras, I would argue, are actually good for totally different reasons.
Yes.
Like,
all right.
Roger Waters, I don't think is a good singer.
No.
On the other hand, I think he's an excellent dramatist.
Yeah.
In terms of just musicianship and making something sound tuneful, melodic, perhaps.
I like tuneful.
I think I kind of like the David Gilmour era best. But in terms of sonic adventurism,
Bob Dylan,
Ummagumma, like Live at Pompeii, kind of sort of would speak louder, wouldn't it?
Yeah,
Live at Pompeii is amazing.
Mm.
Ummagumma, I'm not a big fan of.
Okay.
It's to me
too psychedelic.
Sorry, did you say something?
Is it too psychedelic?
It's just too disjointed to me. There's no, there really isn't and actually, if you ask, like, say, Nick Mason, he says that that's the one album he kind of has a regret about.
Really?
Well, all they were doing is they were experimenting. They had to fill space. They had to put an album.
When you say experimenting, you mean experimenting with acid or experimenting
No. Musically? They were experimenting
musically and with acid.
They were trying to find their new voice after Sid was gone.
Yeah.
They tried this thing.
You're right. Sid was mostly responsible for the acid.
That's right. So they put out. I think it was. No, I'm sorry. I'm thinking of Adam Hart Mother. Ummagumma is better than, but still not much better than.
No. I wholeheartely agree that it's better than Adam Hart Mother.
Yeah. I was thinking of Adam Hart Mother.
Okay, fair enough.
Yeah. To me, they didn't really hit their stride in the post Sid Barrett era until metal.
Now, when metal came out, what year was that?
That would have been 71.
71, yeah.
And then they put out Obscured by Clouds shortly after, which was actually a soundtrack. Which is another underrated album. And then it was Dark Side.
Yeah, that's true. It's like Pink Floyd popped out of the world when in 73, but
because it's interesting.
I think that's what everyone gets to hear.
Dark Side, as popular as it was their 6th studio album.
Dark Side?
Yeah.
8?
Oh,
studio
was it 8th?
album?
Oh, sorry.
They'd been around for some time.
Yeah, they had. Obscured by Clouds is a soundtrack. I think it's underrated. It's not usual Pink Floyd sounding. It's a lot more acoustic. But I think it's pretty good. I don't know. I don't remember what it was a soundtrack for.
This. La Valley or Valley.
Right. They did some soundtracks for like art films and stuff back in the day. There was one
like
film that they did a soundtrack for. The film was called Zabriskie Point. And the director liked Careful with That Axe, Eugene. And said, can you do up a song that's kind of like Careful with That Axe, Eugene, but not Careful with That Axe, Eugene? And so I can use in the film. So they put together some stuff for me. He's like, no, I don't like that. And they put another, and they were like, no, I don't like that. So eventually what they just did was Careful with That Axe, Eugene. They just renamed it. He's like, yeah, I love that.
Hey, like, you know, people want what they want.
Yeah. But I wonder if the director even clued in. I mean, it must have. That it was actually Careful with That Axe, Eugene. Just rewritten or retitled.
It's an interesting point.
Bizarre. Trying to find it where it was used, but anyway.
Where what was used?
Oh, just the what you're just saying about the usage of it.
Now, speaking of soundtracks, lately I've been listening to it like in the car quite a bit. The work of a group called La Castlevania, who did a bunch of the music for the John Wick movies.
Okay.
And there's a new documentary about the making of John Wick out called Wick is Pain, and I highly recommend it. I loved the first movie, liked the second movie. By the third movie, I was still super into the action, but I was starting to get suspicious that, oh God, I thought it would seem like such an original idea, but God, now I'm worried that maybe there's some fucking Marvel comic that I missed that has encapsulated all this, and that's why there's a. And so I was starting to find myself going, oh God, I don't know, can I really back this or not? And this documentary kind of put it back in context and was like, no. John Wick was an original movie by a bunch of guys who wanted to make a movie. The actual directors, they were first time directors. Before that, they were stunt choreographers who happened to know Keanu Reeves and were like, hey, dude, we want to do this thing. And I was like, Yeah. Let's do that. And everything that followed from that was basically predicated on, we actually managed to get this thing successful, and so now we're just going to try to keep it going. And but I have to say, I enjoyed the documentary more than I enjoyed the last two John Wick films, because it speaks, at least I think, to the difficulty with which anything worthy in this world actually gets done. It takes some effort. It takes some commitment and putting up with some pain. And I have to say, I came out of that documentary thinking to myself, I'm really glad that exists. That's a fucking cool thing.
John Wick or the documentary?
Both.
Well, it's continuing. There was a fourth film.
Yeah.
And then there's a film called Ballerina that comes out, I think, in June, which is a film that takes place between the third and fourth films or something to that effect.
Yeah, and then they extended that world without John Wick's direct involvement in the Continental, which I thought was...
I watched the Continental last fall. It was actually very... I watched it because I thought... I'm going to check this out, and it was very enjoyable. I enjoyed it a lot.
Yeah.
And of course, John Wick 5 has been lightly announced as starting out.
But the other thing that I like about all of this stuff is Keanu's another one of those dudes who's kind of our age, and yet is still kind of showing that our people our fucking age can kick ass. That we're not totally over the hill. I was very pleased. Now, I will admit he doesn't exactly have rock hard abs anymore, but Billy Idol on stage takes his fucking shirt off without skipping a fucking beat.
That's kind of awesome.
That's good.
Pretty cool for fucking a guy pushing 70.
So does Iggy Pop, and sometimes I wish he'd put it back on.
Yeah, but that was true of Iggy Pop when he was younger, too.
That's hilarious. But you know what? I mean, Iggy Pop is basically... wasn't Gollum's body based on him from the Lord of the Rings?
Really?
Things? They used
I
Iggy
mean, I
Pop as
believe
like
it. I believe it.
Yeah,
well, that, or he was just a caricature of Putin, which is also something that people have said.
A good point.
How old is Iggy Pop? Iggy Pop.
Oh God.
Well, shit. If Billy Idol's pushing 70, Iggy Pop's got to be older.
He's got to be like in his 80s.
I would think something like that.
Because, I mean, I Want to Be Your Dog. Didn't that come out in like 1965?
Fucking hell, it might have. I don't know. Who would have guessed that he would have outlived Bowie?
Yeah, I don't know.
That's a good point.
Or
didn't Bowie die in 2016?
Bowie died a few years ago. I don't remember the exact.
I think that was closer to 2018 or something like that. 2019.
We have the power of the internet. January 10th, 2016.
Shane is vindicated.
I know everything.
Shane is the internet.
It's like watching a documentary on that 80s show. What was the one with the robot kid?
Robot Kid. Fuck, how did I
There's
miss
some
that?
80s show I remember. I vaguely recall like they had like a child
That was a
robot.
robot?
Yeah. Oh God. Small Wonder. Why do I remember that? Why do I remember a show called Small Wonder that I barely watched? What is going on?
I still remember there was a show that was on. It wasn't on for very long in the 80s. It was called Whiz Kids. And
Oh, Whiz Kids. I do remember Whiz Kids.
yeah. And some kid had like all this computer equipment and stuff, and him and his friends would solve crimes or something with his computer.
Well, shit, that was us growing up, wasn't it?
Yeah, exactly. Here you go, Whiz Kids. So Matthew, that kid, he was the Little House of the Prairie kid, and God, what? 18 episodes? Yeah, whatever.
I remember it had Max Gale from Barney Miller in it.
And it
Barney
had a
Miller.
crossover episode with Simon and Simon.
Oh, fuck,
That's-
really?
It did. Oh,
I
that's
don't
so dumb.
remember
Why?
Probably because the same company was involved, but
Oh, probably.
I
No,
mean,
like
Simon and Simon also crossed over. I'm pretty sure with Magnum PI, who also crossed over with Murder She Wrote, that crossed over with.
They're all part of the same universe. It was like
I
the
love-
Marvel universe before there was Marvel.
Hmm.
Oh, that's awesome.
Oh, I know what I heard about.
Hmm?
Apparently, the Knight Rider episodes are being redone in 4K and being re-released. I
When you
read
say
this somewhere.
redone in 4K, you're saying remastered
Yeah,
from
remastered.
the original.
Like not refilmed or
Really?
anything.
Because for
I mean, I'll never buy them because
Fuck.
it's
Look-
not good
look-
television.
well, I don't know about that.
No,
it has,
it's
it has
definitely- it's not
Hasselhoff
good
in it,
television.
so it's
It
obviously good.
I mean, there's some
Obviously,
episodes
if
that
it
are
has,
good.
if Hasselhoff is in it, then it's good, right?
The only episodes that are good are the ones with Carr and Goliath.
Okay.
Otherwise, the rest of them are all pretty formulaic.
Yeah, I mean, sure. It's sort of like watching an Inspector Gadget episode. I mean, to be
I
fair, you kind of
challenge
know how
you.
it's going to go.
I challenge you to find something on DVD or whatever and put it on and watch 3 episodes back to back without getting bored. Get bored. I think I could stomach one episode.
But seriously, like, are you saying it compares unfavorably to something more classic, like I don't know what, Airwolf?
No, I think Airwolf is exactly the same. Dukes of Hazzard,
Fall
is exactly the same. My childhood intellect loved those shows. My adult intellect does not.
I mean, it's a nostalgic trip. I mean, you think of like
Yes,
Dukes of Hazzard,
that's all it is.
same sort of thing. Yeah,
There isn't enough substance to it now to keep it entertaining.
no, especially when you have to deal with things like 4K remasters that
But maybe
Get
it's
excited about
maybe
5
there's a lot of detail you're missing because it's not in 4K.
Could be.
it's true.
Could be. Kit has a pimple.
It's like an episode of the A-Team where they were trying to not use their guns anymore or as much.
Fuck. Yeah.
And they had to build contraptions like
But the building of
Shooting people with
contraptions,
cabbages or something.
was like that. That in itself, forced though it was at times, was I think the real fucking value of that, because if you know, like, I mean, you can almost use it as an adjective. It's sort of like if you're MacGyvering something. People know what you mean if you're going to MacGyver it. You know, we're going to MacGyver up a fucking, you know, a corkscrew out of, you know, a screw and a
ham sandwich.
Yeah. You know,
Didn't MacGyver have a
like you know, if you need to suddenly turn a station wagon into an armored vehicle, obviously you're going to A-team it.
Yes. It's true. And yes, Shane, MacGyver did have a reboot. Like
I just
yeah, not one that I ever watched.
no, it wasn't good. And it's not the only old show that had a Hawaii 5-0 had a reboot. Something else did too. I don't remember what it was.
wow, the reboot lasted for 5 seasons. MacGyver, the rebooted MacGyver takes place in the same fictional universe as 2 other series, Hawaii 5-0 and Magnum PI.
I think there was a Magnum PI reboot actually.
Yeah, it lasted.
Another thing that I never watched.
Yeah.
Oh, I watched MacGyver. I watched that show that the name just escapes me at the moment.
And actually, there was a Knight Rider reboot at one point as well.
True.
But that was actually a while back.
And it only lasted, I think it only was a movie, wasn't it?
It was supposed to be a series. And I think they did like a pilot movie.
If we're being fair, where Knight Rider would actually where it would actually likely succeed is if somebody did an anime version of Knight Rider.
That would work.
That would work, wouldn't it?
Or they should do what they did in The Simpsons to just make a show called Night Boat.
Night Boat?
It was
Love Boat plus Knight Rider.
It was supposed to be like Knight Rider, but instead of a car, it was on a boat. And
yeah. Well, what it would be is the Love Boat. Only as the Love Boat sails out, it's got this light across the back.
I'm detecting an iceberg ahead, Michael. Turbo boost.
Go, Inspector Gadget legs.
We have just bastardized one of the childhood memories, and it's awesome. Like, oh my god. Those are the days.
Yeah.
Oh my god. Excuse me.
Well, I'm out of beer.
Yeah, well, yeah, as we are. Generation X, motherfuckers, Generation X. Okay,
Yeah.
we're the best. The millennials, suck it. Boomers, suck it. Gen Z, hey, look, you're just like us. Gen Y, fuck, why? Why?
I hear that.
On that note, boys and girls, we'll see you all next week. We do this for fun, but we will take your money if you want to send it to us. Or your beer.
Yeah.
Just
send us all your money and your beer. We're like, yeah.
Good night, all.
Yeah.